This is a little whiteboard video working out the problems that we were working on yesterday in the breakout rooms. So I thought I'd go through them. It says number 2 is 3/8 plus 1/4. To do this problem, we need to have a common denominator. The common denominator will be 8. I find that by looking at my two fractions, and if the smaller denominator will divide into the larger denominator, then that can be our new denominator. So I'll rewrite them with the new denominator. The first one, since the denominator is the same, I can just copy it over. The second one, I need to look at it and multiply 4 by 2 to get 8. Multiply the numerator by 2. Then I can go ahead and add the numerators and get my answer. So the next one, number 3, similar, it's a subtraction problem. 7/8 minus 2/3. This time 3 does not divide evenly into 8. So I have to come up with a new denominator, the least common multiple for 3 and 8, and I can multiply 3 times 8 to get that new denominator. So my new denominator will be 24. And this time I'm going to have to change both fractions. So 8 times 3 will give me 24. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by 3 also. That will give me 21. Here I'll multiply 3 by 8 on the second one and 2 by 8 to get 16. And then when I subtract, 21 minus 16 will give me 5/24. For number 4, we need to estimate and find an exact answer. I have 7 2/3 plus 4 5/6. For the estimate, I'm going to look at 7 2/3, and 2/3 is more than a half, so I'll round 7 2/3 up to 8. 4 5/6, that's 5/6 is almost up to 5, so that's plus 5. So my estimate will be 13. For the exact, I do need to have a common denominator, and I'm going to line them up and have my common denominator will be 6. The 2/3 will change. We'll multiply that times 2. So I'll have 4/6 when we change it. And then I can add that to 5/6. When we add, we'll have 11 9/6. To get this answer, I then rewrite it. So 11 plus 9/6 is 1 3/6 when I change the improper to a mixed number. Then when I add, I'll get 12 3/6, and then I can reduce the 3/6 to 1/2. So there's our first 4. And now I'll go on to do the next set. So we got to number 4. We're going to start with number 5. Number 5 is 24 minus 18 3/8. And I need to estimate this one. When I estimate 24 is 24. 18 3/8 is closer to 18 than to 19. So my estimate will be 6. To do the exact, we're doing 24 minus 18 3/8. And for this one, we have to borrow. So I'm going to make this a 3. When I borrow, I'm borrowing 1. And that 1 is going to equal 8/8. So I borrow 1 from the 24 and I write it as 8/8. Now I can subtract and I'll get 5/8. And 18 from 23 is 5. That's my answer for number 5. Number 6, we're putting the less than or greater than symbol in between 3/4 and 17/24. And for this one, I might just change the 3/4 to 24ths, right? So if I want to change that, 3/4 would be the same as, multiply by 6 as 18/24. Then it's easier to see that since 18 is larger than 17, 18/24 is greater than 17/24, and 3/4 is greater than 17/24. So we've got a couple more. Let's erase that one. On to number 7. 7 is simplify 1/3 cubed times 54. Order of operations, I'll start with the 1/3, which will become 1/27 times 54, and I'll put that over 1. So I'll write that as that whole number as a fraction. Then if you wanted to write them over each other, you could. 54 over 27 when we multiply across, and that equals 2. Number 8 is 5/6 plus 4/3 times 3/8. We'll start with multiplication, and I can simplify this by canceling those out. And then I'll have 5/6 plus 4/8. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the 4/8 to 1/2. Now I can look at having a common denominator, which would be 6. So we'll have 5/6 plus 1/2 is going to be the same as 3/6, multiplying each of those by 3. And so that will give me 8/6, which will equal 1, and 2/6. I can reduce that to 1 and 1/3. So that's our your answers.